Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to draw Spyro from Skylanders. So we're going to start with the brow area, just above the eyes. Starting on the left, I'm going to come out, and coming down towards the center of the face. And from here I'm going to go a little bit higher on the top, going up to the right side. And then here I'm going to wrap around and just connect to the inner part here. So this will make the round area for the eye on the right. And on this side, from this tip, I'm going to curve in and tuck this in underneath the brow as well. So we got the two eyes. Let's draw the pupils. So on the left side here, I'm going to draw sort of like a half circle on the upper edge. On the top left, I'm going to draw a small circle for the highlight. Then in here, I'm going to imagine sort of a half circle, a smaller one just inside, behind that highlight. I'm going to color that in black. Let's go to the right side. Here, I'm going to draw a perfect circle. So right in the middle, drawing a perfect circle. And on the top left, I'm going to draw another highlight, so a circle on the top left. And in the center here, I'm going to draw the center part of the pupil just behind that highlight, and then color that in black. Okay, so there are the eyes. Let's get into the nose area. So here, just where the eye meets the brow, I'm going to draw a straight line out to the tip of the nose. From here, I'm going to curve downwards. And then here I'm going to draw the mouth. So it's going to be a curve that comes up and then up on the right side. So curving around and then just curling up the end. And here I'm just going to cross it kind of like a T, just on the edge of the mouth. Right up here where this edge is, I'm going to just draw a curve going across. On the other side, I'm going to draw the nostril. So on this left side, I'm going to draw sort of an oval and color that in black. This side, I'm going to draw in the opposite direction, so going in the other way, and coloring that in black. Now let's get into the brow area. So the brow, I'm going to thicken this up. So coming down just below the brow, I'm going to curl around, and I'm just going to follow this contour slightly, all the way around the eyes. And on the right side, I'm just going to fade this out and taper it out like that. Let's get into the jaw area. So here, we'll draw the cheek first. So under this eye, I'm just going to curl around that nose. And I'm going to turn directions and kind of come downwards now. From here I'm going to go around the face. So I'm going to try to come up to where that brow is. So going across, curving up, just like that. Here I'm just going to turn it up slightly, just to make room for the horn. Right here under this eye, I'm just going to curve around the edge of that mouth slightly. Okay, so now we got that, let's get into the horn. So up here, I'm going to draw a horn coming up this way, but I need to make that socket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a curve up on this side. Now I'm going to draw the horn. The horn is crooked. It doesn't actually go up like in one angle. It actually breaks twice. So it comes down and then up. I'm going to take this point and lead it into that part of the socket by coming in and around. Now let's draw some detail on that horn. I'm just going to draw a couple curves just going up that horn, evenly spaced out. Okay, now here, I'm going to take this edge where the horn meets the socket and come down to the center of the head. So right about here, I'm just going to curve around like that. The front here, I'm just going to curl in an edge just for the horns along the thorns along the middle edge of the head, like kind of like a mohawk. So here I'm going to draw the first one. Come up in a curve and pull that back down. I'm going to do an overlap and draw one more behind it, pull that down, and then a smaller one just behind that and pull that down. Here I'm just going to finish this head, so I'm going to imagine the head curving around like this. So right about here I'm just going to curve and tuck that in behind the thorns. Let's draw in the last horn. So I want to kind of make sure that I go up to the same height as on the right. So right about here, curve this into the head, and then right back to the top and curve this back in, tucking it behind that forehead. Let's go ahead and draw some more detailed lines across the horn, just like that. Okay, so there's the head. Let's get into the body. So here, I'm going to draw the belly. So the body isn't that big, so the body comes down to right about here, and that's where we start the legs. So right about where the chin is, I'm just going to curve down to where I think the leg would be. So I'm just going to be drawing the things that are placed in front over on top of the back. So let's draw this leg first. So right about here, I'm going to draw this leg overlapping and curving down. This will go down to the toe. So now let's draw the back part of the leg. So it goes thicker to a thinner sort of ankle, kind of like that. Let's draw the nails. So here, there's 3 toes. So I'm going to draw the first one. So I'm going to do an overlap and curve around. I'm going to draw a little socket, sort of like a backward C, and pull that back in. Here, I'm going to take these 2 points and merge towards a point with curves. Here, I'm going to do an overlap on both sides, sort of like brackets. This is for the center toe. Make a little socket, and then just draw a V. Do the same thing here. So I'm going to take this and just flip it over on this side. So I'm going to go like this, draw a little socket, and curve back in the opposite direction. Now here I'm just going to curve and tuck that in under that leg, and let's draw that nail, just like so. Okay, now let's draw in the back. This is going to go around the body. Here's the back legs, but I'm going to have to make a little socket here for the wings. So start right by the neck, come down to right about there. I'm going to draw a little socket like this. Now I'm going to round out the back end. So coming here, I'm just going to round out the back end, but he's got a tail, so I'm just going to leave a break right about here. So let's draw the hind leg first. So the hind leg will start right about here. So I'm going to come in with a curve like that. And now let's take this line and just continue and just fill in that little belly area there. Now with the hind leg, I'm going to go from this point and just draw towards the foot. This line is going to continue, but with a break. I'm just going to draw a little line like that in the back. From here, I'm just going to curve down and then just reverse the angle going outwards for the toes. And like exactly what I did here, I'm going to draw that right here. So let's start with the front toe first. So the curve to the socket, and in the back of the bottom of the toe. Let's draw those claws. And here again, so I'm drawing a bracket, the socket, and then the nail like a V. And then one more time. Socket. I'm just going to curve that around to a hook nail. Now that we have that, let's get into the wing. So this wing goes all the way up, and then there's a claw right up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to curl down behind that horn, come down, 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 and just plug it right at the edge of that socket. At the top here, I'm going to do what I did with the toes. I'm going to draw the brackets, I'm going to draw a socket, and I'm going to draw a claw. Now let's go down to the outer part of the wing. So this is going to come down right about here. So I'm going to take this point with an overlap and pull this all the way down like that. Now from here, from this part of the socket, I'm going to curve around to the center part of the wing and then connect it to the outer part of the wing, kind of like that. Now we can draw a little bit of detailing here if you want to draw the bones inside the wing. So let's take this point. I'm going to go all the way up to this point here. So I'm going to imagine right about here, a curve, and then start to taper out to that edge of the wing. I'm going to go from here, I'm going to make my way to this side, center part of the wing, like that. Leave a little gap, and just start to taper in. It's a little bit tighter as I get to that center point. Now from here, again, I'm just going to taper in, just trying to aim for the tip, just like so. Okay, that's a pretty good looking wing. Now from here I'm going to draw the tail. I'm just going to finish this area off. So this underbelly is going to come across, and the tail is going to continue from here and go behind the wing and continue past behind that neck. Now if you want, you could draw a little wrinkle like that just to show that the tail is bending. Let's draw a couple little scales in the back. So here we got one that kind of looks like this with a curve. We got one here that's got a hump on the back, then line across it. We'll draw one more here, kind of like that. Now we can finish the tail off if we want, so let's go and do that. So this tail continues on back here, going back like that. We draw a socket for one more sort of a claw or horn in the back of the tail, and then this will continue like that. This tail is going to, on the bottom side of the tail, it's going to continue like so. Now for the tip, he's got this fancy little tip on the tail, so I'm going to do a curve that just intersects that tail, and a curve in the opposite direction. Now here it's going to come to a point. So on this side and on this side, I'm going to take that mid peak And just kind of split this tail in half. And now from here, I'm just going to follow that contour 3 times on the right side, and then in the opposite direction on the left. Okay, so now that we have that, let's get into the back leg here. So it's basically the same as this, but just pushed in the back here. So I'm going to start up here. I'm just going to curve out the front part of the leg, just like I did here. And I'm going to follow the same pattern again. So I'm going to draw the top part of the claw, socket, and then bottom. I'm just going to curve out the claw. Do that again. So the bracket for the center toe, and then the socket, and then a V. And then the back here, you probably won't see much. I'll draw just the top part of the claw. And from here I'm going to go up, and like I did here, it's reverse angle going out. Okay, let's get into the neck detail. So the neck and the underbelly, there's a little bit of scaling going on here. So it's basically like an oval, like it's tucked in the outer part of the body. Then do an overlap, and you just kind of continue this pattern until it vanishes underneath the belly, kind of like that. All right, the final part, I think we got one more wing to do. So the wing, I'm going to imagine it's going to be, the socket's going to be on the opposite side of this side here. So it's going to go up to the point here. So I want to make sure that these claws are at the same height. So let's start with the socket, just making sure that they're at the same height. Draw a claw. I'm going to draw these little sort of brackets on either side, the socket, kind of going like that. So that's the starting point of that wing. We're going to imagine this is going to come down, probably vanish behind his head somewhere, but the outer part, so I'm going to take this and flip it over, will end off at the same point, the same height as the one on the right. So take this and curve behind that horn and come down. Now I want to go up and hit that center part of the wing. So I'll do a curve like this, and then I'll curve again and just kind of let that sort of vanish behind the body. Now, like I did here with the bones underneath the wing, I'm going to do that on this side. So I'm going to curve up, kind of go up to about here. Now I'm going to take this point and meet the center part of the wing, starting here and then just tapering out, like so. And this will come down to sort of vanish there. If you want, you can add some scales. So I'll just do a few scales here just to show you. So in the middle of the brow, I'm just going to draw a couple curves just in the center, just to show that there's some wrinkles. If you want, you can draw some scales in the forehead. So I'll draw like a curve like this. From this point, I'll just curve out with an overlap, like that. You can sort of repeat this pattern up like this. Kind of doesn't really matter. Down the arm here, we're going to do the opposite, so we're going to flip it this way. So I'm going to start by doing one curve, then two, and then doing an overlap. So finding the center point of those scales and just doing a curve inside, and then sort of repeating that pattern just a few times down the leg. Probably want to put one more up here, and then I'll kind of move up to this area, this empty area here. Just do a few little scales up there. And we'll do a couple on the back hind leg here. And maybe do a couple in the back leg here. So I'll do one more group on the back. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, before I forget, he's got some fangs. So I'll draw one little V on this side and one V on that side. And there we go. There we have it. There's Spyro from Skylanders. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please give us a like and share this with your friends. Please check out all our playlists. We have a ton of characters coming in every week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.